All right. So I'm going to go through an example, and this might be sort of an unusual example. Let me show you what it is. Let's say you have a mixed number times a fraction like this. Well, the first thing we want to do is we want to convert the mixed number to an improper fraction. Now, the formula we use, W in D, D carries over, and you have W times D plus the numerator n. So for this one, we keep the D, multiply W and D, add in. And what that'll do is convert 3.5 to 7/2. So now when we do the multiplication, it's 7/2 times 3/5. So when you're working with mixed numbers, we want to make sure these are converted to improper fractions first. Now, multiplying directly across, one tenth. And we could try to reduce this fraction, and it won't reduce. If we were to break it down into prime numbers, you would see a 3 times 7 over a 2 times 5, and none of those are going to cancel. So this is the best we can do as far as reducing goes. Now, oftentimes what will be asked is convert that into a mixed number. If you have an improper fraction, they'll often ask you to convert it to a mixed number. So the way we do that, divide 10 into 21. 10 goes into 21 at most 2 times. 2 times 10 is 20. Subtract remainder 1. There's no other numbers to bring down, so we're done. So how do we interpret this? Well, the way we interpret it, the number on top is the whole number. The number doing the dividing, that's going to be our denominator, and the remainder is our in the numerator. So WND is going to be 2, 1, and 10. And that's the answer. But the important thing to take away from this example is if we have a mixed number, put it as convert it to an improper fraction, then do the multiplication. You might also see something like this. What do you do here? Well, what we want to do is we have a fraction. It's a proper fraction, so it's not a mixed number. So we don't have to convert it into an improper fraction like we did before. But this is actually an improper fraction, and we want to write it as such. All whole numbers can be written with a denominator of 1. Now we can do the fraction multiplication. So we multiply directly. And we get 18 over 7. Now we perform the division, because this is an improper fraction. Let's make it into a mixed number. So 7 goes into 18 at most 2 times. 2 times 7 is 14. Subtract is 4. So that's the whole number, that's the denominator, and that's the numerator. And it's always going to be that way. Top number will always be the whole number. The number doing the dividing, that's always the denominator. What's left over, that's always your numerator. So we get 2 and 4 sevens. And that's your answer. So suppose we have something like this. Two times 3 and 1/7. So now we've got to do two things. We've got to make this an improper fraction and then turn that into an improper fraction. Well, putting that over 1, that's all we got to do. Now this one takes a little more work. Remember, W n over D equals D, then W times D plus N. That's the formula. So we're going to convert this. So that means 3 and 1/7 is 7. 3 times 7 plus 1. Denominator, denominator, W and D, W times D, and then plus N, which is 1 in this case. So you get 21 plus 1 over 7, or 22 over 7. So now we've changed our problem from this that. And now we multiply across. Or directly, I should say. Like that. So we get 2 times 22 is 44. 1 times 7 is 7. So now we need to convert this to a mixed number. Seven won't go into 4, but it will go into 44. And it goes in at most 6 times. 6 times 7 is 42. Subtract is 2. No more numbers to bring down. We're done. So what do we have? Well, again, the top number is always W. What you're dividing by is always D, and what's left over is always N. And we put them together as whole number, numerator over denominator. Or 6 and 2/7. That's it. So that's an introduction there to multiplying fractions. If you have any questions, let me know.